So let us continue from where we left. I've been telling you that the ISO 9001, in fact all ISO standards, are pretty much mentioned as part of clauses which run from clause number 1 to clause number 10. Look at this standard. You have clause 1, which is scope, 2 normative references, 3 terms and definitions. The meat starts from clause number 4, which is about context of the organization, broken into 4 segments: understanding the organization and its context, understanding needs and expectations of interested parties, determining the scope of the QMS, and QMS and its processes. You have clause 5, which is about leadership. I've been mentioning ISO का बहुत ज़्यादा focus is about participation of the top management. So leadership is the clause wherein they are trying to guide that element. You have a clause 6, which is about planning, 7 about support, clause 8, perhaps the most important part of the entire ISO 9001, which is operations. Very detailed requirements will be mentioned as part of clause 8. Then you have clause 9 and 10, which is about performance evaluation and improvement. So how the ISO is based: 1 to 3 is pretty much directional. You don't have too much to do in clause number 1, 2, and 3. Clause 4 to 10 is what actually has the content, has the list of the requirements that have to be met in order to be ISO 9001 certified. Clause 4 is about organization and its context. One is about issues, both internal and external. So as part of your clause 4.1, the ISO 9001 standard expects you to determine the internal and external issues that could impact your organizational QMS. So you have to make a list of all the internal issues that could impact. Internal issues could be availability of resources, knowledge transfer, skill availability, sales orders, related issues. External could be client expectations, change in laws of the land, etc. So 4.1 की expectation बहुत straightforward है. वो आपसे expect कर रहा है that you will be able to make a list of the internal external issues. Let's read that particular comment. Says, understanding the organization and its context, the organization shall determine external and internal issues that are relevant to its purpose and its strategic direction and that affect its ability to achieve the intended result of its quality management system. The organization shall monitor and review information about these external and internal issues. Issue can include positive and negative factors or conditions for consideration. Understanding the external context can be facilitated by considering issues arising from legal, technological, competitive, market, cultural, social, and economic environment, whether international, national, regional, or local. Note 3. Understanding the internal context can be facilitated by considering issues related to values, culture, knowledge, and performance of the organization. तो 4.1 का एक्सपेक्टेशन बहुत स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है. वो आपसे इंटरनल एक्सटर्नल इश्यूज को डिटरमिन करने के लिए बोल रहा है. Going to 4.2, understanding the needs and expectations of interested parties. तो इंटरेस्टेड पार्टीज आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जो भी हैं, I'm saying management, maybe people who put in money with your organization, employees, vendors, government agencies, society as a whole. So it is saying, please make a list of interested parties. Due to their effect or potential effect on the organization's ability to consistently provide products and services that meet customer and applicable statutory regulatory requirements, the organization shall determine A, the interested parties that are relevant to your QMS. So, you got to make a list of interested parties, और फिर इन interested parties की requirements identify करनी है. The requirements of these interested parties that are relevant to your QMS. So, as an employee, आपकी क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन है? एज एन एम्प्लॉय मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि मुझे क्या करना है, व्हाट इज माय जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन, व्हाट इज माय रोल्स एंड रिस्पांसिबिलिटी, मुझे वो पता होना चाहिए. और अपना काम करने के मुतालिक व्हाटएवर आर द रिसोर्सेज, टूल्स, मेथड्स दैट आई नीड, मुझे उनकी प्रोविजनिंग होनी चाहिए. मे बी एनीथिंग एल्स दैट यू कैन थिंक अबाउट. एज अ गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी, जो देश का कानून है, I will expect the organization to follow it. As a society, I will expect that you follow the basic norms of the society. तो यहाँ आपसे expectation क्या है? 1, that you create a list of interested party. 2, you ensure that the requirements of these interested parties are being met. 4.3, determining the scope of the QMS. Each time that you are implementing any ISO standard, scope is a very important question. So apart from what we will go through, you got to realize that scope में 2-3 बहुत basic thoughts हैं. एक, जो आपका product या service है, you mention that. So as an organization, assume करिए, I am a training organization, so I provide training services, I provide consulting services, and there is some bit of technology that we do. ये मेरा overall in scope है. मैंने decide किया कि मैं अगर चाहूँ as an organization, तो मैं ये तीनों को अपने scope में रख सकता हूँ, एक किसी को अपने scope में रख सकता हूँ, 2 को अपने स्कोप में रख सकता हूं. So it is completely my discretion. So the organization will have to choose that from the list of services, products that it delivers, what is to be in scope. Similarly, you could be delivering your services based out of multiple locations. As an organization, कोरोना के पहले हम 12 लोकेशन से ऑपरेट करते थे, बट मेरा सर्टिफिकेशन सिर्फ 2 लोकेशन का था, नोएडा और गुड़गांव. मैंने बाकी लोकेशंस को अपने ISO 9001 के परव्यू में नहीं रखा था. So one important question will be about location. Let's read the standard. The organization shall determine the boundaries and applicability of the QMS to establish its scope. When determining the scope, the organization shall consider external and internal issues, requirements of relevant interested parties, products and services of the organization. The organization shall apply all the requirements of this international standard if they are applicable within the determined scope of the QMS. The scope of QMS shall be available and be maintained as a documented information. So, ये ISO 9001 में scope statement is a mandatory DI. The scope of the organization's QMS shall be available and be maintained as a DI. The scope shall state the type of products and services covered and provide justification for any requirement of this international standard that the organization determines is not applicable to the scope of the QMS. तो जहां आप scope mention कर रहे हैं, अगर for some reason you've taken any exclusion, और उसका justification is also to be mentioned as part of your scope statement. Scope में क्या क्या करना है? जो product service आप include कर रहे हैं, locations जो include कर रहे हैं, और justification of any exclusion. मेरा पर्सनल एडवाइस टू ऑल ऑफ यू, एक बार ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से उनका लीगल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन मांग लिया करो इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रोडक्ट एंड सर्विसेज. तो आप जिन सर्विसेज के लिए गवर्नमेंट में रजिस्टर्ड हो उसके बियॉन्ड में आपका स्कोप नहीं जाने दूंगा. तो व्हेन यू फॉर्म योर कंपनी टू से दैट वी आर अ प्रोवाइडर ऑफ ट्रेनिंग एंड कंसल्टिंग. टेक्नोलॉजी इज नॉट मेंशन्ड एज पार्ट ऑफ योर लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट्स. फिर मैं आपको ISO 9001 के इन स्कोप में टेक्नोलॉजी को नहीं रखने दूंगा. I will ask you to go back and modify your legal documents also before I allow you to add that in your scope. Physical location, मतलब physical address is an important constituent of the scope statement. Clause number 4.4 बहुत important है, इसलिए मैं उसको एक separate video में रिकॉर्ड कर रहा हूँ. See you in the next video. Thank you.